I feel like this video might be a little rambly, so if you're new to my channel, fuck, I'm sorry. I just cut this jumper to look cute and it's just like showing my bra. Hey guys, it's Lucky Hell. Welcome back to my channel. If you're a new person, hi, my name's Lucky Hell and I make some videos sometimes, but normally I'm swallowing swords. But yeah, that's probably super random if you're new. Hi. Hello to my subscribers that have been here for a while. You guys are really awesome. I have been asked by quite a lot of people to make a video on anxiety, depression, agoraphobia, stuff like that, because I've mentioned it a few times in a couple of different videos and also on my social media like my Snapchat and my Instagram. I'm pretty like open about everything. I'm probably too open about things, and today's video is not scripted. I don't even have any notes. I just wanted to like talk to you guys because I know this is something that is really hard to deal with. It's hard to deal with, and it's also hard to imagine that someone you see on the internet or on stage or on TV being like really confident and outgoing, and you know, it's really hard to imagine that someone like that could be dealing with the same things that you are, you know, if you're dealing with anxiety or depression or agoraphobia. Agoraphobia is when you have trouble in large spaces, and it also, a lot of people with agoraphobia have trouble just leaving the house and being around any open spaces and any people, and I'm one of those people. So I wanted to chat a little bit today about my experience with these things and how the little things that I use to try and help it. I wanted to talk to you guys about the reason that I'm a little bit sporadic with my uploads and I'm not super regular, and I've actually been getting really anxious about doing regular uploads because although YouTube is like a hobby for me, like I have a job and I work a lot, it's a really fun hobby. I can't believe how fast this little like hobby thing has grown into something like really cool, and there's like a lot of you guys that have subscribed to me, and that's just awesome. And like, you guys are taking time out of your day to subscribe to me and comment and sending me messages on Instagram and Snapchat, and the fact that you guys take that time and consideration makes me feel like I should also have time and consideration to give you guys like regular videos, because that's why you follow someone on YouTube. And I've been getting really stressed out about it because I've been having a lot of I don't know if it's like anxiety or if some depression is stopping me, but I'm having a lot of trouble getting up in the morning, having a shower, putting on makeup. Like I really haven't done that all this month. We're at like the 20th. See, I'm like wringing my hands. I'm getting all anxious thinking about it and I'm sweaty. You know, putting on makeup in the morning and being like on, it's hard. Like, here's the thing, for me, my agoraphobia means that even if I'm just going to lunch with a friend, I somewhat feel like I need to be on like work mode on. Like that's how much energy it takes me just to be around like one person or to leave the house. I need to feel like it's not that deep, it's not that important, it's just freaking lunch. But that's how it is for me because it's really hard to be out there and be around people, and I can't even articulate what it is about being outside that is hard for me. I just don't like it. I feel safe in a cocoon. If you have some problems with anxiety and agoraphobia, you'll know what I mean. Like you know, it's just things are hard. Like, it's just hard to stand there and breathe sometimes, let alone talk and function and be interesting and be yourself. Like when you're having mad anxiety, you feel like you can't be yourself because you're just trying to like battle the anxiety, and then you're almost putting on an act to seem like you're okay, and then you're not being yourself, and it's very unauthentic. And it's just, no, let's just stay home and like ignore the world for a month, you know. So I'm getting all like anxious about describing it because it makes me connect with the emotions. So in this video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me and my experience with these things and how it was, because it was really bad. Like I couldn't leave the house, and I didn't for like a year or two, not really much at all unless I absolutely had to, and that would be like once a couple of weeks or something. and I want to talk about now how it is for me and the techniques that I use to deal with those things and try to be a functioning human in the world, because you need to leave the house and you need to function with depression, otherwise it will eat you up and it will go bad. So this is a hard subject to talk about for me because it's something that I live with and have lived with for so many years, like 20 years almost, at varying levels. Ever since I was like really young, even when my mum was alive, I had problems sleeping, I had problems with anger. You know, I had quite a hard time coping with how I was feeling. I just became very reluctant to leave the house, and then I would get anxiety when I would go outside, and then it became panic attacks when I would go outside, and I just kind of stopped going outside. So when I was in my late teens, I just became very anxious leaving the house, and I definitely had problems with addiction, so I think that also exasperates anxiety, depression and agoraphobia, because you are not on a stable chemical keel in your brain. You are really fucking with that chemical balance in your brain, which is already can be a little unbalanced if you're having depression, anxiety or agoraphobia or any number of mental illnesses or issues. But I just remember that I started getting the internet wasn't really around, so you had to pay your bills by going into a post office or some kind of place. I remember I had to go all the way into the city, which was not very far, but for me it felt like going to another country basically, all the way into the city center to get to like a main post office or something to pay bills like electricity, water. I remember I would put those things off, like I would put them off, and I wouldn't pay my bills because not that I didn't have the money, I just didn't want to go into the city to pay them, and I would put them off until it would be like, we're gonna turn off your electricity, and I would be like and it would take me like hours and hours to get ready, just procrastinating because I didn't want to leave the house and go out there. And I would always take the bus, even though the train was a lot faster, because on the train there was a lot of people, and I would like have major anxiety / panic because I just felt, oh my god, everyone's looking at me, oh my god, something's wrong, there's people everywhere, I just had trouble being out in the world. And if I was on the bus, usually I was the first person because I was at the beginning of the bus route, and I could sit on the back seat and kind of try to crab in a shell, you know how they go like back into their shell? That's what I wanted to do. So, and this just became, you know, it just became really hard to be outside of my house. And I remember going into town once, and sometimes I had like a rosacea kind of thing going on with my skin. I had really bad skin all through these years. I don't know if it was because I was eating a lot of dairy or if it was because I was in Australia, which is really hot. Now my skin is really good. I mean, it's amazing compared to what it used to be, but I used to have these, they thought it was rosacea, and I don't think it was. I don't know what the hell it was. Wow, tangents. I remember having a really bad bout of this bright red itchy skin on my face, which just made leaving the house a lot harder. And in most places in the world, if you look a bit different, people will stare at you more, you know, not just like if you have funny hair or you dress different, which I did, but like if you have some kind of physical deformity or physical issue going on, people really just like stare at you. And I think especially in Australia, so I remember I had to leave the house and I had this like crazy itchy inflamed skin, and I was just like, but I had to pay these bills and I had like a pile of them. So I remember I went out into the city, and it was just like, just trying to survive on this bus trip and then get into the city. And it's like a constant mental, okay, you can just go there and do this and then you can escape. Okay, it's okay, you can do this. Oh my god, it's like this constant, like, I'm getting like really anxious just thinking about it, because I still have this mental like fury going on in my head when I leave the house now. It's just calmed down a lot. I would just be talking or like talking to myself in like 7 different versions of me, like, oh my god, they're looking at you, oh my god, calm down, it's okay, you can do it, oh no, I can't do this, just like over and over and over again, like just non-stop for hours and hours, you know. It's very tiring. And I remember I got into the city and for some reason I stopped somewhere to have a look at something, and I just started panicking, like full-blown panic attack, like got dizzy, couldn't see, I started sweating, and I was just like and I just ran into a taxi and took a taxi home and didn't pay my bills that day. And I think after that I probably stayed in home for the rest of the week and just kind of, I don't know, that I remember in my house in Australia, my front door, like if I was inside my house and I looked at my front door and it was closed, it was like safety. I loved looking at my front door closed, like it was this barrier between me and the outside world. And I just, even now, the idea of being in here and my door is closed and everything is out there gives me a really good sense of calm. And I also remember a time when my boyfriend would come over to my house and I would be using like newspaper for toilet paper, and I would be eating dry Weetabix with butter on them for food. Wheat Bix are like this cereal thing. It's just like dry wheat. You're supposed to put it with milk and sugar, and I was just like eating them dry because I had no food and I had no toilet paper. And the shop was literally like a little deli, like at the end of the street and around the corner, like really, really close. So I really had a lot of trouble leaving the house. I had jobs at different periods of time, but it was really hard to keep the job, or at least keep up the hours I needed to make good money. Someone asked me just today on Snapchat, how did I financially support myself if I had trouble leaving the house, because this is a big issue. Like, you can't, I didn't have family, my family was not rich, I did not have money in the bank, I could not just live, I needed money, you know. So the thing is, I was really young, I was unemployed, I was on the dole, so I had money coming in every month or every fortnight, but it was a really small amount of money, and I ended up borrowing money off of, I did have one set of grandparents that were alive then, and I would see them like twice a month or something, and they would always like give me, you know, $50 or $100 or something for a bill or whatever. But that's basically how I supported myself during those like really not leaving the house times. How did I go from like not leaving the house and eating dry Weetabix to being like on stage performing to 1,000 people and like talking to a camera, being like, hi guys, and all this kind of shit, and you know, putting myself out there on the internet? A huge part of all of my bettering of myself was moving to Finland and getting like 100% sober, like no nothing, and learning to love myself again. Sounds super cheesy, but it is. I noticed when I moved to Finland that I was doing something that I thought was normal that other people don't do. Inside my head every day, I was basically yelling and hurling abuse and nasty shit at myself all day, every day. That was my internal monologue. It was like, you're fucking pathetic, you're so ugly, you're so fat, no one loved you, like you're alone, like that's not even the worst. Like, just imagine the worst spiteful, nasty shit you could ever say, and like there's like 6 of you in your head saying that to you. That was like my brain for so many years. And then when I moved to Finland, I don't know what it was, maybe I had met someone, I think I met Belladonna, who is a porn star, who's like, I met her and she was super cool, we became friends, and I remember she was talking to me about positive affirmation and all this kind of stuff. And even though that was like a couple of years after I moved to Finland, it really reminded me that you need to like speak good to yourself. You can't tell yourself every day you're a piece of shit, you deserve to die. You're gonna feel bad all the time, and that's basically how it was. So that was a big change to me, to like make a conscious effort to control that internal monologue and not be so horrible to myself and not say horrible, nasty things, you know, even though it would still come up and I'd catch myself. I'd be like, no, no, don't say that. Okay, it's okay, don't say that. Don't say that. And I wasn't able to start saying good things in my brain for quite a while, like a couple of years. The first step was just to notice when I'd be like, oh my God, you're such a piece of shit, why don't you just fucking die? Wait, stop, don't say that. As soon as something, I would start to say negative things, not as soon as, because sometimes I'd be like going off in my head at myself. This sounds so crazy, but like people who know about this, like, you know, it's true. You're so mean to yourself inside of your head. As soon as I would like notice that I've been doing it for, I don't know, 10 minutes, an hour or a day, I'd be like, hey, no, we're not gonna say that. Not gonna say that. And then slowly I became able to replace those things with, don't say that. No, you're doing pretty good. It was really hard. And then it was like, you're doing pretty good. Hey, look at you. You're like sober and you're alive and your legs work and your arms work. Like, you're doing pretty good here. And oh, look at you. You've done this and you've done that. You're doing good. Like, don't be so mad to yourself. Like, hey, you have nice eyes. And I would say shit like that to myself just to try and like bring in the positive thing. And this made a huge difference. And when I realized that I was doing this negative internal monologue, I was like, whoa, that's really, I can't imagine living like that now. I can't imagine basically screaming insults to myself 24/7. Like, no wonder I just was feeling so bad. I started to realize like, whoa, I'm like hurling abuse at myself in my head like all day, every day. I'm like really saying nasty shit to myself. I'm like, in Finland, when I first got a job, it was really hard to go there and to be around people. And basically, here's how it is. Like, for me, at least with my anxiety and agoraphobia, every single time I leave the house, I'm a little bit like, and I have to talk to myself to keep it going. And sometimes it's pretty chill. I'm just like, all right, leaving the house, it's cool, da da da. I'm like constantly talking to myself. And other times it's like, okay, you can do this, just like, don't freak out. Oh no, just like calm down, you can do this. You're just gonna go there, you're gonna go there, it's gonna be fine. You're just gonna put music in your ears, you're gonna be fine. Like, I'm pep talking myself. This is really hard to like get structure to this video because I just wanted to like talk, and then I'm like, going off all these tangents. So I think the biggest thing that helped me improve my anxiety and agoraphobia was checking what I'm saying to myself and flipping that negative, you know, thing I was doing into a positive tool. Like, I don't have to yell at myself every day, but I can talk to myself, and I used to do that back in the day also. I would be like, okay, you just go there, you go there, and you go there. But it was a very like, stressed kind of speaking to myself. Whereas I started to be a bit like, okay, you can do this, you're fine. Like, it's fine, look, you're fine, you're outside, like no one's gonna hurt you, no one's staring at you, like just chill out. No one cares what you're doing. You're just gonna go there and you're gonna do that, and then you're gonna feel good. Okay, we got this, you got this. I don't know, okay, come on, we'll just try. Okay, we'll try. And I'm like, I'm constantly talking to myself in my head. And I think this was a really good tool, and learning to accept myself and love myself helped a lot. It's really cheesy, but it's such an important thing to learn to do. And if you're not really sure how to do that, I definitely would recommend therapy to like anyone all the time, ever, because therapy is like, you've got a trained person who knows how to teach you some of these techniques. The only thing with therapy, I will say, you can't just go to one therapist and stick with them. You probably need to have like 3 to 6 to 10 appointments with different therapists of different kinds of therapy. Once you sit down with someone, you'll know, okay, this is the dude for me. I feel good, I feel safe, they get me, da da da. You need to do this, and it's an investment in money. Sometimes you can get help from the government to pay for this. Sometimes a lot of therapists will give their first session for free so you can feel them out, because they know you need to see a couple of different people. So it's really important to research a little bit, like what kind of therapy you think will be good for you. What's causing your anxiety, depression, or agoraphobia? Did you have a trauma when you were young or more recently? Is that what's causing these issues? Is it work causes you? A lot of anxiety and you're having trouble going to work, that would be, you know, probably a cognitive kind of therapy. Is it a chemical imbalance? You might need to see a psychiatrist. You might need to check out those things, you know, because it's so, like, mental illness, you know, 1,000 people can suffer from the same thing, and there's 1,001 different backgrounds and reasons why, and versions of that thing. You know, everyone that has anxiety doesn't experience it the same. It's the way it is, which is, I'm not going to say the beauty in it, because it's, I don't know, there's beauty in psychology, that's for sure. That's what's the beauty in psychology when you study that, because it's just endless, you know, and every single person deals with, is affected by, and lives with things so differently. So definitely, you know, internal monologues and finding ways to be more positive and be your own, like, cheerleader, like, yeah, come on, we're leaving the house, ooh, is good. I will say that, I don't know, like, I would love to give you guys, like, I did this, and this, and now I'm awesome. I would love to be able to say that. I wish there was a formula to this stuff, but there's not a formula, and I'm not awesome. I don't consider myself free from agoraphobia or depression. I think my anxiety is basically like a sub effect of agoraphobia. Like, I just don't like being outside and around people. I get very anxious then. I feel like I'm gonna live with this forever, and I just need to find the best ways for me to deal with it. I'm not looking for a cure for depression. I'm looking for techniques and ways that I can live with it and live a happy-ish and healthy-ish life, you know? So, like, there's nothing I can say that will specifically fix anyone or you, but maybe some of these things could give you an idea of what might be good to try, you know? Definitely positive thoughts and talking to yourself, and positive kind of affirmations. Sometimes I stick stickers around my house saying, you're doing awesome, and you're successful, you did this, you are loved, you know, things that I need to be reminded of. Stick them around your house, you know, if you live with other people, stick them around your room, stick them inside books. So every time you're looking at things, you're getting a positive words thrown at you, even when you're not trying to, you know. Seriously, it sounds crazy. I mean, for me it doesn't sound crazy, but it might sound strange, but it really works. Like, stick something right where you wake up next to your bed, on your bedside table, like, you're doing pretty awesome and you're pretty successful, or you're doing pretty well and you're more beautiful than you realize. Little things like this.